They've won Tonys and Oscars and Emmys and Grammys. There's no red carpet 'cause they're home in their jammies. From Melrose Place to Broadway to Janeway and her crew. Let Seth and James bring all the stars to you.
Anywho,
they're entertaining everyone, so who's gonna grouse? Just sit right back and you'll hear some tales on Stars in the House.
Hi, everyone. This is so exciting. I am so glad to be here. What an honor. My name is Jessica Kirson. I am guest hosting this appearance. Oh my God. I can't even believe it. This is for the Actors Fund, which is a nonprofit. It goes for it. This is an amazing organization which raises money for entertainers around the country, not just in New York City, for so many incredible things, for housing, for health insurance, for so many unbelievable programs. And you can make donations live during this entire program. I have guests on with me, some incredible comedians, friends of mine. It's awesome. And to make a donation, visit www.starsinthehouse.com or text Fund 2020 to 56512. And then don't forget to forward your receipts to donations@starsinthehouse.com. I'll keep repeating that during the show because it's so important. These actors and entertainers need these donations. Everyone has had such a hard time because of COVID, and it really means a lot. They've raised $925,000. That is an enormous amount of money. It's unbelievable how much money they've raised. And I'm so glad to be a part of this. It's such an honor. It really is. And there are some incredibly funny people on tonight. I mean, this is unreal. So I have asked three of my friends, three of the top female comics in the country, in the world, to join me on the show tonight. I executive produced a movie called Hysterical that I'm also in, and it was on FX. It's now on demand on Hulu. It's an amazing movie it's a documentary about female comedians, and there's so many incredible comics in it. Kathy Griffin, Margaret Cho, Fortune Feimster, Nikki Glazer, and on with me tonight are three stars in the movie: Judy Gold, Wendy Leibman, and Carmen Lynch. I am so glad that they're joining me. And we're going to talk about the movie. We're going to talk about stand-up comedy. We're going to have a blast. We're going to laugh. And they're just amazing. Again, I want to just tell you where to go to make a donation, because really this organization is incredible. Go to starsinthehouse.com, or you can text Fund 2020 to 56512. And don't forget to forward your receipts to donations@starsinthehouse.com. Please make a donation. These entertainers need help. It's been a really hard year, and these entertainers, all of us, have been hit hard. A lot of people don't have work right now, and it really is helping so many people. $925,000 has been raised already. So amazing. Such an incredible amount of money. So let's get this show started. I am so excited. I'm going to bring on my first guest. It is so incredible to be able to introduce this woman onto the show. She is a mentor of mine. She always laughs when I say that, but she really is. She is so incredibly brilliant. She's been on everything. I can't even name everything she's been on. I mean, God, you've seen her. You all know her. She is unbelievable. She's been on HBO. She's been on Comedy Central. She's been on The Tonight Show. She's unreal. Please welcome my very close friend, my partner in crime, Judy Gold.
Hi!
Hi, Judy.
Hi!
I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for coming on the show.
Oh my God. Thank you for doing this. I just want to say, as far as the donations are concerned, my friend Bob Smith, rest in peace, who died of ALS. The Actors Fund was so good to him. So it doesn't matter if you're a comedian. It doesn't matter, you know, they really take care of us because, you know, we're gig workers, you know, we live like shit. Look at me. Anyway, how are you?
You don't look good. No, I'm joking.
I had cataract surgery because I'm old. So I can't see a fucking thing. And I had a therapy session about, like, you know, how old I am. So that's good.
Did you have a therapy session today? I had couples today. Every day I have some kind of therapy, but today I had couples. Did you have one today?
No, I had it yesterday. Wait, do you do Zoom couples?
Yes, it's a lot. I sit next to Danielle and do Zoom couples therapy.
I used to have a joke about couples therapy, how every time we would go to couples therapy, my girlfriend would cry and I would apologize. That was the entire session.
Judy, how thick are your glasses? I mean, basically it looks like you have windows.
Okay, so I have about 6 pairs on. So I have a new lens in this eye and then a contact in this eye to try to correct it, because the difference now is too much for my brain. So I wear one. These are for the computer. And then I have this for reading. They're really attractive. All my glasses don't work anymore. These are really
those are hot.
These are hot.
They just got turned on.
This sucks. I can see far. I can't see anything up. I can't fucking believe I'm old. Like, I don't want to be old.
You're not that old, Judy.
I am that old. That old.
Okay, I'm gonna welcome my next guest onto the show. I can't even. First of all, can you please look at her? She, her, and bitch. I mean, this Judy. Everything you do is funny.
Okay.
I just want to say
Jessica, thank you for executive producing that movie. I can't tell you how many people have said they felt like women have felt empowered. Women are like, you know, people saying I had no idea what it was like. You really told a great story. So thank you for including me. And you make me laugh so much. I can't fucking take it. And I can't believe the other people on the show tonight.
Judy, thank you for including you. I mean, how would I ever not include you? You're a star. Judy, you're a star.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone knows that. We don't listen. You're amazing. You are an icon to all of us.
Oh, Jessica, I'm getting my real estate license. Okay.
It's okay. I'm going to kill myself. All right. So anyway, let's bring on, you should see the way Judy and I need to post our texts because they are hilarious.
They're so awful. Hi.
They're very upsetting. Yeah.
Next time you see me, will you stab me? Thank you.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, how are you? She's like, I'm about to jump out the window. Yeah, you're out of the window. Well, Judy, I love you. I'm so glad you're here. I'm going to welcome our next guest, who is so brilliantly funny. She makes me laugh so hard. I did a Zoom show with her last week. I watched her set. I was in my car. I did a Zoom show in my car. I mean, what's more depressing than that? I watched her set. I was laughing out loud. I mean, I just can't take how funny she is. It's just hysterical. I'm so glad she's here with us. Everyone, please welcome Wendy Leibman.
Woo! I love her.
Oh my God. I love you both so much. I'm having a really bad hair year.
Hair year.
Hair year. That was the joke, but Judy was talking.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I'm used to it.
Do you want to say it again so that the crowd hears?
No. Hi, Carol Leaf in the comments. I love you both so much. I feel like I'm in a sorority here.
I know, me too. We're like in a Jewish sorority. I was in a Jewish sorority at University of Maryland. This is what it feels like.
Were you?
Sorority.
Delta Phi Epsilon. They called us dog, pigs, and elephants, but I think that was more to do with Jewish.
I was in the Pyros. We just burnt down the sorority.
I was in the smoke pot in my room by myself. It was really bad.
Wendy, how have you been?
Well, you were talking about getting old. I turned, I turned 56, and I've been forgetting everything. And like, I forgot that I'm 60. And I need a walk-in tub and a pickleball racket. And I don't want to be that person.
We bought pickleball rackets.
No, you did not.
We did.
My
can't
mother
be friends with you
plays
anymore.
pickleball every day. My mother is obsessed with pickleball.
It's supposed to be really good for old people.
Yeah.
Wendela, I was telling Jessica, I just had a therapy session.
I heard.
But my therapist said to me, I was like, I'm depressed and this. And then she says, when's your birth? And I said, November. She goes, no, what were you? And I said, well, I was 58 on my last birthday. And she said, well, you're approaching 60. I'm like, no, I'm not paying you.
I did one Zoom therapy during the whole pandemic, and I won't do it again because my therapist fell asleep. And I was talking about being an insomniac. And that's a joke.
I love you so much. I can't take it. Everyone,
I love you too.
I can't deal with your. You
should just get a room.
Can I tell you a story about Wendy? So Wendy is one of the best joke writers ever in the business, and original. So I remember the first time she came to New York. I don't know if you remember this. And she came to Catch a Rising Star, and Lewis, who was the bartender at Catch a Rising Star, and then became the booker, and now runs the New York Comedy Festival. Anyway. I remember it must have been 1988 or 87 or something like that. And he goes, Judy, come here. Watch that.
Watch that. Not even
watch that. You see her? See that? And I'm like, great. I'll go on at 3 in the morning as usual. But Wendy is such an original. And the thing is, and I've said this before with you, Jess, on these Zoom things. We never get to work together.
Yeah.
Women never got to go on the road together. We never got. And so at any time, I'd be working in Boston and Wendy was in another club or something. That's how we got to work together or see each other. And so this is such a treat. So,
we should do the Hysterical tour.
I'm working on it. But before we talk about that, let's bring in our next guest because I adore her. I just love this next woman too. I mean, she is also one of my closest friends, brilliant comedian, done Letterman, done everything, also just incredible. Such a great comic, such a funny person. I can't wait to have her on the panel with us. Everyone, please welcome Carmen Lynch.
I love you guys. Thank you for having me. I love all of you. I have stories about all of you.
Carmen, that was the best intro. You were like, that was amazing.
I love you. I have to say, my therapist told me that my therapist is 75, so she does not hold back because she doesn't have much longer to live.
Right.
So she said, you're a comedian because you're in pain. And I was like, I thought I was a comedian because I was funny. And I started crying. And I was like, you're right. Oh my God, so sensitive.
Yeah.
I once had a therapist that I once got in a fight with a therapist. And he was like, we should go to couples counseling.
No way.
And I'm not even making that up. And I was like, no. Because he wanted me to pay for it. And I'm like, I had one therapist. I'm not even joking. At the end of each session, I'm not making this up. He would whip out his clarinet and play it for me for 5 minutes.
You're lying.
No,
I don't believe you.
I swear I will take a lie detector
Did he tell
test.
you it was his clarinet? And it wasn't?
He said you didn't have enough somebody to care about you and share their art with you. And I'm like,
oh God.
I'm like, don't talk about yourself at work. That's what I learned from that doctor. Don't talk about yourself at work.
You got Jess and Carmen never met Judy Toll, who was the funniest, rawest, one of my best friends. And so she died of melanoma, but she was so funny when she got cancer. And it was stage 4, and she would be like, Judy told to stage 4, Judy. I mean, like, she was so fucking funny. Anyway, her and Monica Rosenthal did a show together called BFFs, and they went to couples therapy together because they were writing together and they were fighting. And
for real?
I've done stuff like that before.
Oh, it works with friends too? Oh,
Yeah.
I gotta call my friends now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it either, but that is what people do. I'm so glad that you guys are here with me. I want to say that, this is very important. This is for a great cause. It's really important to support this cause. Make a donation if you can. Visit starsinthehouse.com. To make a donation, go to starsinthehouse.com, forward your receipts to donations at starsinthehouse.com. And you can also text Fund 2020 to 56512. The donations go to people, to artists, all kinds of artists, not just comedians in need. Like Judy said, her friend Bob Smith, who I knew very well, who Wendy and I'm sure Carmen knew, benefited from this organization, and it really goes to help people. A lot of people are in need right now. A lot of people aren't working and just, need resources. And this is an incredible organization, and they've raised $925,000.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
It's great. It's great. So thank you so much for your support, and thank you everyone who's watching right now. Let's talk about the movie, because God, we're all in this movie and it's been incredible. And I Carmen, what kind of feedback have you been getting about the movie?
I mean, everybody has how were the comics selected? Why wasn't this?
That kind of
stuff. They love the movie. They love the honesty in the movie.
Yeah.
And of course, my parents are like, we wanted to see you more. I'm like, Mom, there's 800 comedians. Like, I'm just happy to be in it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean,
but that's such a mom thing to say. What?
Yeah. Yes. Jessica, you are so generous because you are. You
hugely.
Like, it's unbelievable. Like, you put on that executive producer hat like no one I've ever seen before. And your generosity, because when I say Jessica, she did this. They're like, oh wow, it's really it's not often, it's never that you see that in this business. And so I can't thank you enough. All right.
Thank you. I that wasn't about me being like getting a lot of exposure and I actually really wanted to get the story out. So I didn't, it just didn't matter to me how much I was in it or anything. And I think a lot was said about it, what we've been through. And, so many people are curious about what we've been through. I mean, Wendy, you and Judy started way before Carmen and I did. I mean, we've been doing it I've been doing it 22 years. So that's crazy to even say that. Wendy, do you feel like it's changed for women? Like, is it much different now, do you feel? Because I have my own views on that, and people will be surprised by my answer. But do you think it is very different now than it used to be, or do you think it's pretty similar?
I see a lot more women trying to perform, and I find that hopeful. I also have to say I just watched the movie.
Yeah.
Because I'm so vain, I didn't want to see myself before. But I just watched it and I am blown away at how, can I swear?
Yeah.
How fucking great that movie is. And thank you for including me in it. It was powerful. And it made me sad too. It made me, it's like we struggle.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to really have something to communicate because we're being stopped at every chance. Like, each hurdle is harder.
It is.
I don't know if it's harder, but it's like, okay, so we have to be really driven, the four of us.
Yes.
To want that.
And we have to be twice as good. There's no leeway with us. And it's so true what Wendy's saying. There's more of us. But, we come from a time when if there was a woman on a show, that was, oh my God, that booker's great to women. One woman, never more than one. And so it's, and I feel like women are more bold, and it's, I do, but it's still the same, the misogyny and the shit that we have to deal with. And we still make less money. It's awful.
Go on, Wendy. I'm sorry.
Well, I was just going to say, my theory is that when the person on stage is the designated, we've appointed ourselves the leader. And so it's harder for women to do that because there haven't been enough of us, but there are now. So we can see women being the leader. It's the same in politics. It's like, we just haven't seen it enough. And so you're doing this movie, it's like, we are all over the place and we're undeniable.
And we equate, being a comic, it's a powerful position. You're in charge. You are controlling that room. And we in this country equate power with masculinity. And that's it, and what is it? What is it to be a feminine? Is to have no opinion, to be docile, to be quiet.
Ladylike.
Ladylike. And it's just, I haven't had a comedy special since 2010. And I was told by Netflix, I don't fit the algorithm, which means I'm over 50. But there are so many men.
Ridiculous.
And I have Wendy,
it's ridiculous. We get funnier.
Right.
We get
funnier.
And fearless. You don't give a shit anymore.
Right.
You have so much more material. And yet there's guys my age and older who are getting 3 specials, deals. And it's like, what do you mean? They really think no one wants to hear our point of view. And it's so infuriating.
But how does no one know? How does no one realize the older you get, the more experience you have, the more confidence you have, the funnier you are. Yet this algorithm, which I almost don't even believe, I'm like, if they only gave us a chance, we would break that ceiling, and they would realize that there's so much more here.
Yeah, not to mention more material.
Right. And Carmen, you and I, and Carmen, you and I are out on the road doing clubs on the weekends a lot now again. And how do you experience it on the road as a female comic? Do you feel like it's different for you than it is for male comics? Do you feel like the audience is kind of like the men are being dragged out to see you?
What I notice the most is when it's clusters of men and they do that arm holding thing, nice, that's cute, they're already in that space, in that frame of mind before the show even starts. Yes. And you have to dig yourself out of this hole. And I'm like, fuck you. I don't even need your approval. You know what I mean? But then there's the couples where the guy wants to laugh, but the girl's doesn't want the guy to laugh too much. And I mean, in general, we can have great shows, but I always find those people and I focus on them and I should just let it go,
Yeah.
And sometimes you don't always know. I had this one guy, he was just staring the whole time. And then after the show, he was like, that was the greatest thing I've ever seen.
I know.
Yes. So I'm like, okay. It's out the window.
Right.
Yeah. Because I believe that no one is going to change. I've said this before. I think, Judy, you've heard me say this, but no one's going to change this for us. This is going to stay the same until we do something about it. And we're going to have to do something about it because no one is going to change this. I just saw a flyer today on Instagram of a very hot club on the road. And there were 12 different weekends, like in little boxes in the flyer, and every single one of them was a man. I'm not kidding. Right. I couldn't even believe it. I went through one after the other, and I looked and I could not. There wasn't one woman coming up in their entire schedule for 12 weeks.
Maybe one of them has a vagina and we just don't know.
That's true. You never know now. That could be true. But no, they looked really angry. So I don't think any of
them. Was it in the north or the south? Can you say?
What?
Was it in the north of the States or the south? This club?
No, it was in the south.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it was just, I was a little surprised at this point to see that, because normally I don't know, I would see one woman. It was bold at this point to even see that. It's like, my God, we really have to start pounding the doors down and making a change and saying we're not going to deal with this anymore, because no one is going to do it for us. So I keep thinking we all have to get together and start some kind of movement. I'm serious. And go
on the websites of these clubs. It's all guys. Go in a club and look at the headshots on the walls, and even when, like today, Charles Grodin died,
I know.
And great guy. And yet you go on and they say comedians are, talking about Charles Grodin. It's all men. It's all men. It's Mark Maron, it's Patton Oswalt. I mean, nothing against these guys, but
no, I know. And I spent a ton of time with him personally.
Right.
I did a play with him. It's just, they don't even reach out to people that could know him. It's so interesting. They really don't think of us a lot of the time. And I actually do really think that women are funnier a lot of the time. Like, I'm not even just saying that
if you go on a show, like exactly, you watch a show, you do even a showcase show in the city.
Yeah.
There's 5 guys on doing 20 minutes. You're going to hear the same, same topics. Women are so uniquely funny, and they come, we are in touch with our emotions, and we're emotionally intelligent. And I really think we are so different. And if you have 3 guys on a show, it's a show. If you have 3 women on a show, it's like a special event, and that has to stop.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what I said in the movie. They came to Vitello's, where I do Locally Grown, and I said sometimes we have an all-female lineup, and we didn't mention that was what it was, and that felt really good. And the audience didn't mention it either, and it was just normal. It was normal.
And some clubs do that now. I have to say, I did the Carlson in Rochester, New York, and the owner, who's a man, had 2 women open for me, and I was like, "Wow, good for him!" Like,
that's
he didn't even
huge.
Ask me. I know he didn't even ask me. He didn't nothing.
But isn't it weird how we're like, "Oh, thank you."
I know, but you know what? I agree. But at least it's a start, because that has never happened.
Right, and it's like that internalized homophobia, where you're like.
I agree.
It's the same exact feeling, like, oh my God, thank you for accepting me for who I am and valuing, me as a human being. But
But it's also been harder because those shows that have one woman, if that one woman doesn't do well, or she's new or something, then it's like, well, women aren't funny. Well,
that's what you said, Judy. You said in the movie, you said that 3 months ago we had a woman and she wasn't good, so we're not doing women.
How many times did that happen to you?
Yes.
Because when we were doing our own bookings, and be like, "Hi, I just did like Evening at the Improv or Caroline's Comedy Hour," and I blah blah blah, and they literally be like, "Oh, we had a woman here 3 months ago who didn't do well, so because we're all exactly the same."
Right.
Or that they'll introduce, like, our next comedian is a woman. She's a lovely, lovely, tall, whatever. It's like, stop that part.
Right.
I was once brought up in Boston.
I'm already laughing, and you didn't even say what you were brought up as, but I can't wait to hear this.
Dick Doherty. Remember Dick Doherty?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
This next dyke.
No way.
That's how he brought me up. I wasn't even a lesbian.
Of course.
At that point.
At that point.
Oh my God, Wendy, you are so funny. You're like, that week I wasn't a lesbian.
But I mean, because I had short hair. I think that's why he said it.
I can't. I'm sorry.
That was my worst.
But I would
intro.
always, give it right back to them. Like whenever they did that, I'd be like, he has a cock and balls. That was your MC.
Wow.
And that was the only way I could think of because they used to lift it. I'm sure they do this to you, Carmen. Our next act, put the mic stand all the way high up.
Always. Always. Oh, she's a tall glass of water.
Yeah. It's shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're so pathetic. They really are. But you know who's not pathetic? People that give to this amazing organization.
The transition!
Yes, make a donation. Go to www.starsinthehouse.com or text FUN 2020 to 56512. Forward your receipts to donations@starsinthehouse.com. You guys, this goes to an incredible organization. If you're just coming on, if you didn't hear me say it a bunch of times, I'll keep saying it. This is so important. It's so many people need this right now, and they've raised $925,000. So incredible. Please give what you can. And really, I'm so glad to be here on with my sisters, because they are sisters to me. This is my family. These are like, besides my family, the only people that I feel like fully understand me.
We're a breed.
Yeah, it's really, we're just, no one else understands me.
Wait, can I say what happened to me today that you're all going to totally. So I went to a new gyno today. Okay.
Oh,
and by the way, I'm not used to anything in there. It was so painful. Anyway, so I go to the gyno.
Me neither.
Me neither. Carmen didn't say a word.
I love it. No.
I've had a lot.
I love going to the gyno.
So she is younger, but anyway, she's like, "Oh, you're a comedian." I said, how do you know? And she said, "Oh, it's in your, chart or whatever." She goes, "Okay. There's a comedy club near here. Have you ever performed it was the Comic Strip?" And I'm like, "Yeah, in 1983, I performed at the comic." It's so annoying that you could be, she's like, "Oh, and where do you work?" I'm like, "Everywhere. I wrote a book. I could do that." Like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. It's so, like, unless you're a household name or you're a comedy fan, it's so awful. It's like, yeah, I performed it.
You get beaten down so fast in this.
Yeah, you could be on a fucking billboard.
I'll never forget. I did a movie with De Niro. I was his right-hand person for 6 months. I was dining out at Il Molino with De Niro, Danny DeVito, Harvey Keitel every day, eating antipasta and being treated like a famous person.
Star.
And literally I went to the opening of the movie, and 2 nights later I was in a kosher pizzeria in Midtown performing for Orthodox girls who were throwing pizza at me, and they were like, "This isn't funny." And I was like, "I'm gonna kill myself. This is it. I'm done." That was it. That was the last time for a long time that I had anything going on for me. It's in one day it can all change, where
right.
It can change the other way too. I was at Caroline's once, and this was in the early 90s, and I was done. What? No, maybe it was later. So because it was in Times Square, and I just had enough. And after the show, this woman came up and she was like, "Thank you so much. You don't know how important that was for me." And I'm like, "Okay, I guess I'll keep doing it." So it could go either way. Yeah. But I wanted to say that my gynecologist, and I'm not making this up, again, you can fact check, her name is Bonnie Beaver. And I'll show you her card.
There's a hairy beaver too. I'm not kidding. I swear to God, there's a hairy beaver, because I worked at a bank for a while before stand-up in Virginia. And we used to just open his checking account and laugh.
No.
Yes.
Was he a gyno?
He was down. He was, I think he was. Yeah, but his name, Harry Beaver, was,
That's hilarious.
Harry Beaver was my favorite.
Harry Beaver is amazing.
So Dr. Beaver's examining me, the specula, whatever. And she goes, "Oh, you're a comedian again." And I go, "Yeah." She goes, "Do you know D.L. Hughley?"
Oh, God.
And she's like, examining me
inside of you.
Yeah. So I had to tell him. I said she was mid-exam and she wanted to know if I know you. They played golf together.
Seattle Susie just said my gyno's name is Dr. Reddy. That's hilarious.
That's hot. I had a urologist named Dr. Wiener. Not joking. I'm not kidding. His name was Dr. Wiener.
No.
And I've had, look him up. He's in New York. Look him up. And he asked me one time about Letterman while he was inside my thing. And I'm like, really? Like, it's almost more awkward, when they're in there and you're
they
like,
ask you when they're not inside. Why can't you just say it before?
I think they think it's helpful.
While your fingers are inside me, I don't want to talk about my kids.
I have to find.
Hey, how are the boys? How are the boys? Today she got, what she said to me.
How are the boys?
She said, "Oh, where's your uterus? It's really high up." I said, "Well, I'm really tall." And she's like, "Oh, it's way up there." I said, "Well, at least something on me's not sagging." And that was the nice part.
Where's your uterus? Like,
I know. I'm like,
you're like, I think I left it home. Like, what do you mean? Where's your uterus?
I was trying to
in Park. Like, what kind of question is that?
I was trying to find Dr. Beaver's card, but just to prove that she really exists.
That is so funny, Bonnie Beaver.
Yeah, I love that, Bonnie Beaver.
I couldn't have kids, according to my lease. But I'm just doing jokes for you.
I love your jokes.
I love your jokes, Wendy.
Are
you going out on the road at all, or are you still inside?
Well, I can go out now because I'm fully vaccinated. I'm vaxxed, waxed, and taxed. I don't know what that means. But I have one more Zoom show and one away show. So that's basically where I am because I don't love to travel.
Yeah.
I just don't want to get on a plane right now.
Yeah, I'm done.
Are you?
I'm not. I want to do like one night here and, like do a theater or do a cabaret room or something like that. But I cannot do a club for like 4 nights in a row. I can't do it anymore. I feel like it's just, I can't, having a full year plus of never having to pack a suitcase. It was the first time in my entire life. And I was like, oh my God, this is the greatest thing in the entire world. I forgot how to pack. I loved it. But I can't sit in someone's office or in the back kitchen and like wait to go on and deal with a Friday late show. And it's just, I feel like I paid my dues.
I wish I had taken a picture of every green room because
I know
there was, and like done a coffee table book about it or something because some were closets.
Oh, they're
some were like the alcohol closet.
Right.
It's amazing.
Hang out here.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. Like you're on like Colbert, and then the next night you're sitting in a fucking,
on a good day.
Yeah.
But it does kind of mirror our self-esteem, I think.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Piece of shit in the center of the universe.
Right.
Let me read these 2 donations because I just got texts. I'm very excited. People are donating, and this is a huge deal. I want people to donate if they can, please. This is amazing. Listen to this text I just got. Somebody who donated. I look forward to seeing Hysterical, which I'm only learning about tonight. I love women in comedy, and I love Judy's podcast, Kill Me Now. Yeah, congratulations on 300 episodes. Thanks to Seth and James for giving these comedians a place to shine. Seattle Susie Q, $25. Thank you so much, Susie.
Susie! Seattle Susie Q.
And then Another person, glad to donate in your honor. I prefer female comedians, and they are more creative and observant. Thanks, Mark from Massachusetts. What a great man.
Oh, Mark, yes.
Yeah. And he gave $50. Thank you, both of you. That's beautiful. And what you wrote was beautiful. Please give what you can, donate what you can. It means so much. You're listening and watching Stars in the House, and I'm here with Judy Gold, Carmen, Lynch, and Wendy Leibman. I love them so much. And you can watch Hysterical on Hulu now. We're all in the movie.
So great.
Yeah, it's so exciting, and it's just amazing to be here and talking to you guys. Again, we're here also to support the Actors Fund, which is an incredible organization. And to make a donation, go to www.starsinthehouse.com, or you can text Fund 2020 to 56512. Forward your receipts to donations@starsinthehouse.com. And what you were saying, Judy, before I totally get, because it is so draining. I'm going to be in Connecticut this weekend in Bridgeport at the Stress Factory, and hopefully I'll live through it.
He won't use me. Why won't he use me?
Oh my God, Judy, you are hilarious.
I don't understand, Vinny. I went to Rutgers. Like, I went there. I'm like, okay, fine,
Yeah, I mean, I don't. First of all, I didn't do it through him. I did it through my agent. But I don't know why certain people don't use me, and I think again, a lot of us as women don't get the same opportunity that men get. I mean, there are guys who have half the television and movie credits that I do that are working at every club in the country, and I'll say to my agents, why can't you get me booked at the Rectal Hut in North Carolina? And they'll be like, I'm sorry, but I can't get you in. And I'm like, but Joe Schmo works there and he has no credit. I don't understand. And it just...
Wait, Wendy, do you have a booking agent?
I do, I think.
I can't take it.
I have like a guy. Yeah, it's bad.
Well, I don't. So if anybody wants to give me one, I need one.
But it's
we need to talk.
It's.
I don't really have. Yeah, I mean, I have an agent, but I'm not. Yeah, no.
It's so like that. But when you think, all right, we can complain, but also think about all the theater actors who could not. At least we could get on stage. You know what I mean? Like if we're not booked in a show, if you're an actor, you take classes or you do readings or whatever, but we can get on stage anytime we want, essentially, and perform. So, I mean, that is the one great thing about it.
I read yesterday that comedians are the last job that robots can replace.
Really?
Oh, thank God.
So
I mean, I wrote that in my diary, but no, seriously, I don't know where I read that, but I read that yesterday, and I'm like, oh, I picked a pretty good profession then.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
Yeah, because robots aren't empathic.
Yeah.
No, we're getting. It's tough right now for us. I'm going to say it. It's not easy. We are being like, I feel like everything we're saying is being analyzed. And I'm not talking about even like anything about religion or sex or ethnic or this or that. I mean, I've seen people get offended over like a joke about like pots and pans. I mean, I can't even believe what people are getting offended about.
I don't know if you knew I wrote a book.
Well, of course, talk about your book a little, Judy.
Oh, wait, where is it? Oh, should I go get it?
Fabulous.
I feel like I should go get it. Wait, here it is. Ready? Here it is. See, can you see it? Oh no, you can't see it.
Gone.
Oh my God, you're gone.
No, I went because it's my screensaver.
Just talk about it for a second because it's really important.
Yes, I can say that. When they come for the comedians, we're all in trouble. And it's all about free speech from the perspective of a comedian. And also how we got to this fucking place. It's like, here's the thing that I have to say. A comedian.
They put it up.
Thank you. A comedian gets on stage for one reason. What is our goal? It's to make you laugh. And sometimes it doesn't work. Mm-hmm. we don't know where the line is until we've crossed it 99% of the time. It's an art form where you need an audience to inform you. And yet our goal, that is our intention, is to make you laugh. And if you get insulted by something, let it go. Like if you murdered someone and you were on trial for homicide, your sentence is determined by your intent. What were you thinking? Did you premeditate? And yet you don't give the same consideration to a comedian because you're triggered by a word or a thought or an idea. No, it's and like musicians, you go see them perform. They have new material, new songs. You don't like them. Do you tell them they should never be able to do another concert again? It's really, really bad. Satire is really important, and it's such a big part of our culture, humor and satire. And we got to stop attacking comedians because we are the last bastion of free speech.
And also
go on, Carmen.
Well, like we're doing new material and it has to be tested out in front of an audience. We don't just go out there and do a material. Like part of our job is to take this risk and try out new stuff. And you can't expect it to be perfect the first time. And that has to be okay. Some people love to hear new stuff,
It's always a dress rehearsal, and it's always the show. So it's like it's both things.
It's like if you were a painter and you're painting a mural, when you're like a quarter of the way done, do you invite people over and are like, oh, should I put the tree here and the sun here? No, but that's what we have to do. You inform us, and then you get mad at us. It's like, no.
Right.
Yeah. And it also is, by the way, what Judy said is so true. Intent is everything. Like, I will see some comedy and be like, you know what? That was not a joke. That wasn't even comedy. That was to hurt someone. And I'm like, that's not okay. Like I know it's not okay. So I don't support it. But 99.9% of the time, comics are really intending on trying to make people laugh, and they are coming from a good place.
Yes.
And they don't mean to harm people. And they're, it may come out the wrong way, but they're not coming from a mean place. They're not. And also a lot of people are damaged. Like they don't mean to hurt people. They're hurt people, But
it's also you can't say this topic is not allowed. Like
you can't.
If you're going to discuss a horrible, tragedy on stage and include it in a joke, that doesn't cheapen the tragedy. That doesn't take away the pain. It acknowledges that it happened, and people don't realize that. They hear a word, and plus this whole idea that everyone gets a trophy. That's the other thing. My opinion is just as valid as that. Like you get a trophy for winning the race and breaking the record, and you get a trophy for smiling while he did it. No, it doesn't work like that. You're not as valid as it's so I can't take it. It's really because Wendy, we could say whatever we wanted on stage in the 80s.
I could do it.
I'm writing a musical actually about stand-up comedians. About three stand-ups in Vegas over Valentine's Day weekend after the 2017 election. And one of the comedians is talking about politics, and his manager is like, you can't talk politics in Vegas because it divides people. And he's like, but I want to use my voice.
Right.
And but it's in his contract that he can't. Anyway, that was just my point. Like they can censor us. They do censor us, but we shouldn't be censored all the time, right?
Yes.
Right, especially in our home club. Like don't come to where, don't come to the Cellar or New York Comedy Club or, stand wherever. And then tell me I can't do my work here because you're insulted. It's ridiculous.
That club looks so nice. The Comedy Cellar. I think I was there once in the 80s. Is that the best club ever?
It's really
great.
It's so great.
Yeah, it's like it's home. I feel like it's home.
Interesting. Like when my dad passed away last year, I did some jokes about it, and like people got offended. I'm like, it's my father.
Right.
They take it personally.
About my father. It's amazing how upset people get. I'm like, and then it's enraging to me. It's like, how dare you tell me that I can't joke about my own father's passing?
Right. It's none of your fucking last week I went on, I was like, my mother's dead because it was Mother's Day. And they're like, and I'm like,
I know.
Shut up.
But that says something about them.
I know.
It's so much harder now too, though. It's so much harder now too, because there's like half capacity. Like I was at the DC Improv and it was half capacity, and people are like, they can be seen. It's like them and carpet and them and carpet, and they're too shy to laugh. And then you say something edgy and they're like, you know? And it's like when they were hiding in crowds and audiences, they would laugh more.
The audience likes to be anonymous.
Yeah. I notice now, if you do an edgy joke, so often the audience will laugh and then catch themselves and stop. Like that is the new thing where they're like, oh, right. Sorry.
I think I see it all the time now.
Yeah.
And I just yell at them. I'm like, write to me. Here's my, website. Tell me I'm like, anti-Semitic and whatever I am,
Anti-Semitic.
Well, people love to be offended now. And I almost blame Twitter too, because like everybody has to write a comment. And they take it to the shows and they have to say something. And it's like, we don't care.
Right.
Well, it's amazing. It is about their own stuff, Wendy. I agree with you completely, because I'll joke about like my weight issue. Like I went to fat camp and then people will get really upset and offended. And then I'll go, do you hate your body? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you hate the way you look. You need to go talk to a therapist because you don't even know me. So why do you care that I went to fat camp?
That's such a great thing.
Do you really care about me? Like, do you really care about my past and that I went to fat? Because I had a great time there. So are you really upset that you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's so about their own shit and it has nothing to do with us. And that's why it's so upsetting. It's like, people project their stuff onto us, their own self-hatred.
Right. And that the fact that it's half capacity, I haven't been in a club yet, Carmen. That's where I worked with you first. That's where I met you at the DC Improv.
Yes.
But the audience likes to feel anonymous. So when we started doing these Zoom shows, it's like you could see the people like sleeping or
doing the dishes,
chewing. One guy had like bong smoke.
Yeah.
So I kind of got used to that, like talking to the square.
Yeah,
it was like
I did that too.
Right? I liked it. And the audience likes it because the audience likes to see that we are in the moment, that we can that we're not just reading a script, because then anybody could just come and read my jokes, right?
Right.
So they want to see that the person is in control, and that goes back to that we're a self-appointed leader. Right. So if the fire alarm goes off, we'll deal with it. Don't worry, you're in good hands, right? But the audience loves when you're making callback jokes with just them, because it's like your community. And that's what I realized I missed from the pandemic, was the community, but I got it on Zoom.
Yeah, I get it.
That out too.
Yeah,
Wendy,
this will be fun.
Wendy, you were so great to me. I remember when I first met you and I did my first late night on Letterman and I called you. I was so nervous.
Right. You were amazing.
And you helped me out with like all my questions. You were fabulous.
It's funny because you had that with Wendy and I've done that with Judy. It's so amazing. What I mean, like we have to do this for each other. We need to get together. I mean, I'm going to have to like get this going because no one else is going to do this for us. We need to do this for each other and for the women who are coming up. Like, who's going to help them? I'm not kidding. Like,
right. It's true. You're right. Really, because ask Wendella, in the 80s and the 90s, every guy, I'm the only one. Wendy even got a development deal. They all got development deals. And the ones who got picked up brought all their friggin' friends to write and produce on those shows. And those people are set for life.
Well, that's what Amy Schumer did, right?
Yeah.
She brought all those.
Yes. That is a start, but we don't get the opportunities,
Yeah.
And to help our sisters. It's really annoying. Really annoying. Thank you, Amy Schumer.
We need to start a phone tree.
We do.
Yeah, we do need to do that. This has been amazing. I want to remind people again to make a donation. Please make a donation if you can. www.starsinthehouse.com. Forward your receipts to donations@starsinthehouse.com. Please give what you can. You can text Fund 2020 to 56512. You know, this is, again, an incredible organization, the Actors Fund. They've raised $925,000. Unreal. Helps so many people, so many entertainers, all different entertainers, not just comedians.
And people who work in the theater, like stage masters and like
ushers.
Yeah.
Yep. All different kinds of people. Dancers.
Dancers.
I
mean, how bad can you imagine being a dancer and through this pandemic?
No.
Like, because you can't dance.
Thank God I never became a dancer. I was going to be a dancer, but I never did it. Yeah. I tried, but then I pulled something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys, I've been watching The Golden Girls. And it is the funniest fucking show.
It is so funny.
Ever. And we should do another
Golden
Girls.
And I am
and you know what? What's so sad is I'm B. Arthur's age. I'm B. Arthur's age on the show.
I thought you were going to say you're her aide. You would be her aide.
Yeah, I'll be your. No, Judy, we should have a sitcom called Twins.
Yeah.
All right. Just
we should do another Golden Girls.
I know. They were going to do it, and I forgot what happened. Yeah.
We should call it Golden Showers. Golden Raisin.
Somebody wants to know. Somebody says try being a dance teacher during the pandemic.
Oh, must be. I mean, I can't even imagine being a dance teacher during the pandemic. It must be so hard because you have to have distance from the
God.
Jessica needs a tip jar.
Oh, yeah. No, I want all the money to go to the Actors Fund. Please. I'm so happy that people donated, and the things that you wrote are so beautiful. And you guys are amazing. We're going to wrap it up soon. Before we go, Judy, why don't you tell everyone where they can reach you, where they can follow you, talk about your podcast a little?
Thank you, Jess.
You're so welcome.
I'm in this great movie called Hysterical on Hulu. And I wrote a book. Yes, I can say that when they come for the comedians. We're all in trouble. And that you can get at my website. There's all these links to buy the book at judygold.com. And then I have a podcast called Kill Me Now. And Wendy's going to be on it. I actually want her to be my first live one after the pandemic. I haven't done it on live at all since the pandemic. Oh. And I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Judy Gold, JEWDY, GOLD.
So clever.
I'm a Jew! And I'm in a bad mood all the time because I'm writing on a TV show and I just feel anxiety all the time.
I'm in a bad mood. I love what Judy just said. I'm in a bad mood all the time because I have an amazing opportunity.
Yeah. It's a lot of pressure.
I've been in a bad mood since I was 11, about the same time that I started wearing a bra.
I've been in a bad mood since before then.
Since when?
Said this is the best way to end Shavuot. Thank you all.
The story of Ruth, which was my mother's name. Good night.
Yes, I said I've been in a bad mood since way before 11, which is very sad. Wendy, where can people? I know it's okay. It's why I'm funny. Wendy, where can people reach you?
People can see me on Judy Gold's podcast, Kill Me Now, when I do it. I'm on Twitter at Wendy Leibman and Instagram, but I'm writing a musical. I'm excited about that. It's called Home on Tuesday. So, yeah,
Wendy.
that's it.
I love you, Wendy.
Love you too. This has been such a great hour.
I know. Carmen, my love, where can people reach you?
I am at Carmen Comedian for all things social, and I have a podcast called The Human Centipod on SiriusXM. It's on Tuesdays at 10 a.m. on channel 771. The Human Centipod has nothing to do with the movie. It's just very silly and dark.
Love it. I have a podcast called Disgusting Hawk, which is really outrageous, where I do characters and interview comedians. And it's on my YouTube channel, Jessica Kirson Comedy. You should check it out. It's like Jiminy Glick kind of stuff. And
thanks for having me on.
Judy, you can come in anytime and do it. Come in immediately. We'll talk about that. Absolutely. I have upcoming dates on my website, jessicakirson.com. And I'm on Instagram, Jessie Kirson. And you guys are awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for supporting the Actors Fund. Give what you can. I love you, my sisters.
Wow, we love
Thank you so much for
asking me.
Of course.
Thank you, Jessica, for doing this.
Thank you, Jess.
I love you, Carmen. Bye, guys. Love you so much.
Bye.